Attention, Camp Video Games! This is Head Counselor Michael Mayonnaise! It's come to our attention that the campers in Cabin 4 have been pulling pranks on Cabin 20! Cut it out! If you keep acting up, I'll be forced to punish you? Dessert will be canceled for everyone! I want everyone to take a moment and say something nice to whoever's sitting next to you, and don't be sarcastic! Anyway, on to this week's topic. Today, we're going to discuss episode 6 of the Legend of Zelda cartoon titled That Sinking Feeling, where Zelda and Link deal with some seriously deep issues. Get it? Let's join junior counselors Josh and Sean to learn more.
This is delightful. I'm so glad we came here. Feel those vibrations at Camp Video Games. Welcome to Camp Video Games, a video game and video game adaptation podcast. We talk about The Legend of Zelda. As I'm sure you're not just jumping in. This is episode like 10 or 9.
Yeah, if you're jumping in at this point, it's just weird.
It's cool. It's cool, and you picked a good one.
No, happy to have you.
This is a really good one to jump in on because we decided that just now. It's a really good episode. We're talking about the Legend of Zelda animated series. This is episode 6, That Sinking Feeling.
Yeah, you've got that sinking feeling when your castle goes under the ground. I can't go any further. We'll get sued. That's it.
So, we got Dennis O'Flaherty at the writer's table.
Is that a new name at the helm?
I think it is, because I'm just now figuring how I decided to say his last name. O'Flaherty.
Yeah, I can't believe they let an Irishman write this.
Yeah, so this is one of those episodes where they actually say the name of the episode in like the character's dialogue. And whenever that happens, like in a movie, or if I'm just like watching something with a bunch of friends, I'm so annoying. I have to be like, that's the name of the episode. Like,
yeah, I always have to think about the amazing Upright Citizens Brigade TV show sketch. Where there's an annoying guy at a video store who insists he has the titular line in Star Wars. And they're like, okay, then say it. And he just goes, boy, I sure am tired of all these Star Wars. And my sister and I say that to each other all the time.
what did you think of Rogue One? Did you see it?
Is that the one where it's all about how they got the plans for the Death Star?
Yeah.
That's the last Star Wars thing I enjoyed.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, did you see Lizzo and Jack Black in The Mandalorian?
I haven't watched a single episode of The Mandalorian.
I only saw it because it made it to Twitter discourse.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, my wife came up to me and she said, honey, I think Lizzo's in the new Star Wars movie. And I was like, there's a new Star Wars movie?
Honey, I think Star Wars is over.
I was like, it's like, oh.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about Star Wars. We're here to talk
musician.
about good intellectual property. The intellectual property that I like, it's good when you obsess over it nostalgically.
We were talking about this off mic, how it's this past month. Oh no, wait, were we on mic already? We've been absorbing almost nothing but Zelda content.
I'm doing just shots of Zelda straight to the jugular all month long since we started this.
Got an IV hookup of some of that blue Sheikah gel.
Yeah, no, we stop recording and I just go look up Zelda YouTube videos. My algorithm is just, it's done for. It's pure Zelda brain mush.
Shouts out to Zeltic. I like that content creator. He does a lot of Zelda lore videos. And there's another really good one. I think it's Hyrule Gamer. They do like kind of comfortable back like while you're washing the dishes kinds of like, did you know that the Bigeron sword is and then, he's I don't know what his accent is. I don't want to misidentify it, but it's a very soothing accent.
Well, if we're doing YouTube shout outs, mine is to Moxie Watts. I mentioned this several episodes ago and I couldn't remember the name, so I'm glad we're doing this.
Yes, yeah, okay.
She does a series that she often titles Zelda Lore to Sleep to. And I've legitimately been falling asleep to it. So we're deep in it. So that's all. Yeah, let's get that out of the way and let's talk about that sinking feeling.
I'm gonna open a little tab here. Did you ever have like a movie or like TV show that like would help you fall asleep, like in your like early adult?
Futurama.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. For me, it was the Lord of the Rings animated movie that covers like Fellowship and the Two Towers, the Rankin Bass one. I used to put that on, and like I'd usually fall asleep by the time the ring wraiths started chasing hobbits.
I used to call Futurama my teddy bear.
Oh,
I couldn't go to sleep without it on.
That's a great show. Hot take.
Yeah. But getting into the episode,
Yes.
do you want to point out, as I'm off looking for ways that I can turn the Zelda animated series into like a queer meme icon, there is this like lovely lavender font in the title for some reason of this episode.
We're not going to double
Just
check.
arbitrarily decided, let's make it lavender for this episode.
Yeah, we're not going to double check, but if you want to like chime in and tell us what the normal font color is, I mean, we'll know by next episode, but if you want to,
I'm pretty sure it's usually white.
I'm just trying to give the people an excuse to give us an email, campvideogames@gmail.com. I read everything y'all send, so I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to respond, but I will read it. Yeah, that beautiful, comfortable purple font. What is color? The purple is the color of royalty. It's of passion, maybe. Orange. That's an anxiety color.
Right.
Green.
That choom.
Red. That's obviously fire trucks.
Fire trucks, tomatoes,
Sometimes
stop
apples.
signs. Anyway.
This episode begins with Zelda complaining to Link about how long it's taken them to hike to go to a picnic spot. Link has he's got a romantic plan, or as he actually as he says, it's a gorgeous and romantic place where he's going to take her, which it's some temple ruins out in on like a forest like clearing.
It's not even really a clearing. It's just the middle of a forest. I guess they eventually there's kind of a clearing.
Yeah, let's move on.
Anyway.
The interesting thing happens. What is a picnic really besides an excuse to smooch on a blanket?
Well, what butterflies hover over you to encourage butterfly kisses.
Oh, is that wait, are those the same as Eskimo kisses?
I have no idea.
It's where you put your eyelashes on someone's cheek and you blink, and it's it's actually really awkward. And if anyone wants to can I butterfly kiss you?
I'm gonna just say no.
Say no. Tell them you have COVID or something.
No, but they quickly, sort of get right down to business.
Yes. Zelda, as I've said before, which is a rare occurrence, Zelda is DTK.
Yeah.
She's down to kiss.
Yeah, down to kiss Zelda is you're in for a highlight when that's the vibe.
Oh yeah, she tackles Link, and she basically demands a smooch. Like it was one of those what are you gonna sit there and talk, or are you gonna smooch?
You gotta kiss me, sailor.
But just at the last moment, this would have been. I mean, I'm assuming this would be their first kiss, and it couldn't be more perfect. They're out in nature. They're surrounded by God's country, goddess's country.
Really?
And birds are chirping, squirrels are eating almonds, no, acorns.
Yeah, and they're in this half gazebo type thing. It's very romantic.
Oh yeah, but that kiss
It doesn't last long though.
It gets interrupted because it's like the tower starts to ascend, right? It's like it emerges, and it's like a Colosseum looking building that was underground.
Yeah, which if we're gonna Zelda lore nerd out, this is one. Tears of the Kingdom will have been out by the time this releases.
Yeah.
I assume we will see something like this happen in that game. I'm pretty certain this has happened in Skyward Sword.
This is where the we see this in like the first trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. So it's been established that like the castle, and it's like an Ocarina of Time where the castle is like levitating.
Yeah, I mean we've seen it with the Sheikah Towers in Breath of the Wild, like things rising and lowering, like Tokyo 3 and Evangelion.
Thank you.
Is very much a thing in the world of Zelda and Hyrule.
Yes, and if you want to hear Josh and his sister talk about Neon Genesis Evangelion, go ahead and give a listen to My Sister Evangelion and Me. It's a lovely podcast.
Yeah.
Steph, love you.
Yeah.
Josh, you're fine.
Just quit asking how she's going to react to the hospital scene. That's all anybody ever comments about.
I'm glad I'm not the only person. Like, because yeah, as I was watching, I'm sure. Let's get into it. As I was watching that episode, or the movie,
Yeah.
Again, refresh what that one's called.
End of Evangelion.
Thank you. As I'm watching End of Evangelion, because while you were releasing episodes for this review, that prompted me to finally watch the show. Yeah, the Shinji hospital scene with Asuka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough said.
If you know, you know.
So, Zelda and Link, they then get surrounded by Tektites. Zelda's got a real cheesy line. I've heard of bugs at a picnic, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like the is that like the weakest joke setup of I've heard of blah, but this is ridiculous. Like it's used all the time, especially in kids shows. It's a setup without a punchline that gets used all the time.
Right. I mean, it's dependent on the understanding that most picnics get interrupted by ants, they're gonna crawl all over your cucumber sandwiches and your scones. And maybe I only have like British tea time when I picnic, but the Tektites, they shoot webbing at Link and Zelda, but they like matrix swoop out of the way. It's pretty cool the way that they evade.
Yeah, absolutely defying gravity, these two.
Yeah. So then it seems that like Link is in charge of like holding all their gear all the time. Because like whenever shit happens, he's like, Zelda, you better take this. And he gives her a boomerang and a magic bow as they start fighting. I don't know, it's just like, I guess, it's like my wife always like, I mean, she carries a purse. So I'm like, hey babe, put this in there, please. I'm a man. They don't make pockets for men, It's just kind of
yeah. It's just so hard for us. And then they start fighting. There's some boomerang action.
Oh yeah.
And after a few boomerang throws and some bug spit back and forth, what do we see but the logo of the boomerang?
Oh my god.
Tell us about the boomerang.
So
logo.
there's a boomerangs. They originate from the mythical land of Australia, which is canonically next door neighbors with Hyrule.
Yeah.
And there's a little kangaroo right on the middle of the boomerang.
I love it.
And it's just like sure.
What was the like directorial or animator decision behind we've got to put a kangaroo on it so people really understand that it's a boomerang? After they've watched us use it for 6 episodes.
So they would have been making this in like 1988, maybe 87 beforehand. So I think like in the writer's room, it would probably sound something like this.
Yeah.
Just put a fucking kangaroo on it.
The funny thing is, like, the cultural consciousness of what a boomerang is at the time is probably like 90% from The Legend of Zelda.
What does Crocodile Dundee ever use a boomerang? There's
I don't know.
that song, "My Boomerang Won't Come Back." Do you know that one?
No,
it was
but,
like a '60s garage hit. It was super cool.
I'm gonna look this up while you continue on with the action here.
Look what up. Were boomerangs popular in the 80s?
Just does Crocodile Dundee use a
thank you.
boomerang?
Yes. Important research.
Maybe that's where they kind of felt the need to reference boomerangs as Australian.
But yeah, Zelda's good with the boomerang. As I put it, she's got some impressive boomeranging, and yeah, that can't save her though, because she gets webbed up into a mummy, and the Tektites, they start dragging her off. Link, he's like sharp shooting with his sword at this point. He gets a couple of Tektites. I know, like, whenever I'm playing like the first Zelda game, I always try to keep maximum hearts so that I can keep shooting my sword.
Absolutely.
You know? It's just nice to see that in the cartoon. Link is like, he's got such vitality. Like, he's always at a hundo. Let's see. So Link's sword gets webbed, and he therefore disarming him. And like, what like the thing that with Zelda getting webbed like into a mummy, and like it's fine, that's cool. Like, it cuts off her breathing, but they just like so like kindly like don't web up her eyeballs. Yeah. Like, it's like intentional. They're like, oh, don't get that in her eyes, man. Like, you Tektite, you filthy Tektite. Don't blind her. She's
all I know is they got her wrapped up so tight, it got me about to act up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's something weird going on with these animators and their desire to keep things skin tight on the female character.
Yeah, and their obsession with Link wearing a long T-shirt with no underwear when he goes to bed. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. So, the thought occurred to me as I was watching this, like, is Link the only one who can zap with his sword? You know, it's like, because it's I don't know if it's too early to go into this, but he's not wielding the Master Sword in this cartoon. It's got a whole new name. It's got a whole different name that we'll get to at a later episode, which is exciting, right? But like it's like it's just
I assume it's a power bestowed to him by the Triforce.
Yeah. I think
they're just sort of like, you're the chosen hero to defend me, so here's a little kick up on your powers.
I think if we went into the writer's room and asked them, it would sound something like this. Get out of here!
And if we caught them not on a coke bench, they'd be like, we're just not allowed to show them stabbing people. Stop fucking thinking this hard.
Yeah.
Fucking
Stop
nerds.
writing. So covered in Tektites. It's like, they're like, oh my god, I never made this connection. It's like stalactites, stalagmites, and stalactites.
Yeah.
You know, I that's all. Link, he like throws them at each other, like in order like to recover his ground, and he saves Zelda. Link recovers his sword, and then he zaps the final Tektite. Because it was like hauling Zelda away, so he's like gets the last one.
Yeah, Zelda, who's quite mummified at this point.
Yeah. So then, so Zelda's like, she's like laying on her back, with her head is like underneath the trellis of the building, and it starts to retract. Is that there? Yeah, retract back underground. Yeah. And it's like, did you ever see the 2001, I think it was, Resident Evil movie?
No.
With like Mila Jovovich and all that. There's a cool scene where somebody gets decapitated by an elevator.
Yeah, she was pretty darn close here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wouldn't fly with Nintendo.
No.
Wouldn't that be great? Like, halfway through the season, the titular character gets decapitated while she's mummified, and then like the rest is like, I mean, this would be a great like modern show where it's like the rest is like Link like dealing with his grief and like trying to like, the king's like, well, I don't really see the point of keeping you around anymore.
The rest of the series is just him going through trauma therapy and trying not to drink himself to death.
Oh my god! Or we could go sitcom and Link just starts dressing up like Zelda, trying to fool the king, who's like seems to be pretty like aloof, and yeah, he's just like, oh, royal, give me money. I'm Zelda. Love you, Daddy. King would just be like, Zelda's looking pretty hot lately. Yeah, so Zelda nearly gets decapitated, and Link, saves her.
Yeah, she gets out of the webbing. And,
she gets out of the webbing because Link, like, fucking slashes her like abdomen with his
the one
sword.
time. Yeah, it's the one time he ever just straight up slashes something straight on is when he is trying to get through a silk thin cover wrapping around the woman he's always trying to kiss.
Yeah, I think he's getting some like pent up like sexual frustration out in that slash. So right after Zelda is like, I mean, she's been covered in like, I mean, okay, so webbing is like, it starts off as a liquid, I think. I'm not like, with all of our arachnophiles, give us an email.
Yeah, this is some.
Tell me about how webbing is made, because
this is some pee is stored in the balls level science for me.
If you want to get a girl pregnant, you got to pee in her, okay? Don't do that unless she asks. Okay, for real. Like, that's not a prank. That is not a prank. And, like, so many of these fucking people on the internet, like, what you're doing a lot of the time is not pranking. You were just putting you're putting people at inopportunity. What's the word? I hate fucking prank shows.
No, I'm so tired of watching men pee inside women on YouTube.
That's not what I mean, man. I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly. Like, the Mr. Beasts of the world.
Like
bullshit.
some asshole in like a grocery store aisle who like throws a bucket on your head and then puts one on him. It's like, if someone does that to me, I know that they're pranking me.
Yeah.
No,
I will resort to violence.
Some kid got shot he was filming a prank video, and I think he was at a Wendy's or maybe like some other fast food place.
Right. I like the Second Amendment now.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Don't shoot people. Okay.
Yeah, don't shoot people. If you've got it, like, if you're carrying a gun around, like, don't solve problems with it. Don't prove a point with a gun.
Yeah.
So I gotta recover, man. This is like, because like I wonder.
So Link doesn't pee in Zelda. He just slices the silk off of her. And then they're hanging out in front of the this like Cupid statue at the gazebo.
I just want to know what the guy ordered before he shot the kid. Like, did he go for like a full like combo meal, or was he just there to get like a Diet Coke, or is he like, or is he like one of those like road trippers who like just goes to like use the bathroom at a McDonald's and then like doesn't buy anything? I don't know.
And then the Cupid statue starts retracting into the land.
Yeah, it sure does.
Goodness.
Hold up. That's before the Cupid statue goes down. Zelda, she actually is down to kiss again.
Yeah.
And she literally says, as long as the Cupid statue's here, I guess it's romantic. And then the Cupid statue on cue.
Yeah. It's Link's flagpole going down.
Let's see. I wrote Link. No, actually Zelda. Zelda cock-blocked, swears vengeance on Ganon. Like, she sees the Cupid go down, and she's like, well, it's not romantic, and now I can't kiss him. I'm going to kill Ganon.
I'm not going to fuck until I kill this pig and get my statue back.
Yeah. Then we go to the Piggy Palace.
Yeah, there's like a wolf man.
Yeah.
There's a wolf man who was responsible for this endeavor or something.
This guy's from Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. It's those guys that throw boomerangs at you. They're cool enemies. They're tough too, because like you gotta either like time your attacks or your jumps and make sure your shield is in the right in alignment with where the boomerang will lie.
Yeah, no, for me, it's pretty fair to say every enemy in Zelda 2 is annoying as shit.
With that attitude, I like the challenges Zelda 2. Again, we've gotten into this. I love that game for nostalgic and just I like a good challenge. Yeah, this like kangaroo boy or what he's like a werewolf kangaroo. He doesn't even look like a kangaroo.
Where-faroo.
A kangaroo. He's like nervous that Ganon's going to be mad at him. And so he, like, to appease him, he's like, look, I found this overworld magnet. And that's like straight up the magnesis. Like, oh yeah, it's like a cartoon magnet.
Yeah.
Right? Like the horseshoe with the tips.
Yeah, it's like, the horseshoe tip magnet in a bubble above a box that literally just has an arrow going up and one going down and a lever you can switch.
So good.
I don't know if that just moves the whole world up and down, or like he can focus what part.
Yeah. I think it's the latter. Because like they were able to do it on that part.
Yeah.
But so yeah. Oh, I wrote down. I looked it up. The enemy that we're talking about, his name's it's a gorilla. Which
yeah, I got a case of gonorrhea from some girl last night. Hi-oh!
I went to
I'm sorry, I'm filthy today.
I went to Taco Bell and I was like, give me a gorilla supreme.
So I can leave some gonorrhea in the toilet
I've got a bad case of gorilla. Pokemon Go-ria.
Oh, I don't have my Pokemon Go to the polls clip on this board.
Pokemon
Anyway.
Go to the polls.
Good enough.
Thanks, man. I've been working on my Hillary. So yeah, Ganon.
Ganon's mad at him for some reason.
He's mad because instead of stealing Zelda, he stole the Cupid statue.
That rocks.
Yeah. So yeah, the magnet is responsible for the shift, the topographic shift that the temple did, and yeah, Ganon zaps the gorilla because he grabbed a statue instead of a human being, or a Hylian, I guess. Did they even say Hylian at any point in this?
I have no idea.
I don't think they do.
I thought there were humans and Hylians in the world of Hyrule.
No. They're like the residents of Hyrule are Hylians.
I thought they were
Pointy ear people?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Now I feel weird.
This is another one I'll look up on the side.
Yeah, cool.
Going. I didn't find any boomerang evidence from
from
Crocodile Dundee though. We'll keep moving along
let's
here.
Close that tab then. Yeah. So Ganon zaps the gorilla, and then he realizes that he's like, oh, this magnet would actually be really useful, because apparently that wasn't the plan. Using the magnet.
Did this guy just go rogue and just fuck around with this magnet technology?
I think so. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to impress the boss today. I'm going to show initiative. I'm not going to use my sick days. I'm going to work overtime without asking for pay. Yeah, that always works. So then, back at Hyrule Castle, Zelda and Link set off to go steal Ganon's Triforce, the Triforce of Power, in order to, quote, defeat him forever. So they were Zelda wants blood because she wanted that smooch. Seems like I don't know if she's ovulating or what's going on. She's trying to time it right because she's it's now or never.
Yeah, she's horned up.
I'm never gonna get a smooch again because I don't think Link's actually interested in smooching.
I do have an update. There are humans and Hylians.
God, that is...
with the only difference being the pointy ears.
So does it give an example of who's a human and who's a Hylian?
Population consists almost entirely of round-eared humans. Okay, so Labrina, Holodrum, Ordon Village, and Hytopia are notable places.
This
populations
is
consist
Twilight
almost
Princess?
entirely of round-eared humans. I think that's all from Twilight.
Yeah,
Princess.
Ordon. That's where you start off as
Ordon
Link.
Village is from Twilight Princess for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're really just covering their asses because they didn't give everybody ears.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's see. Right. So Link and Zelda, they're riding to Ganon's underworld to defeat him forever. They brought the Triforce of Wisdom with them, and it's like floating like a balloon.
Yeah. So was there any story reason why they did that? Did I miss something? I miss a lot.
Well,
So I'm like, I could have just missed this, or is this just a convenient plot device?
I don't believe they explain exactly why Zelda chose to bring the Triforce of Wisdom with them, because that seems like a really bad idea. It's like in chess, like that'd be like taking your king with like your bishop like everywhere to like attack people. Yeah, it doesn't make very much sense. Like you leave that's the trump card. Like that's if Ganon gets that, then like it's game over, man.
Yeah, it's like they just needed it to deliver one line, and I don't know why Sprite couldn't have done it.
Is she
maybe it's because
she's been absent from the last few episodes.
Well, also like the line is like this sort of riddle, I think, of what Ganon's up to. So I don't know. Either way, it's funny that they use it as a balloon.
yeah, oh for sure. Like a float at a parade. I wonder if it could like get bigger. But I believe Zelda has to be holding it for it to float. Because she seems to have the connection with the Triforce. And as we go on to the next episode, there's some justification for that. Which actually it's interesting. We'll get to it next episode. For episode 7, there's some callbacks to this episode, which is rare. Then Link name drops the episode. I've got this sinking feeling. Yeah, so back at the Piggy Palace, we find out that Ganon wants to make Zelda his queen. Like that's an objective of his.
Normal stuff.
Which I mean, I think he's made mention of that before, but it's like it always seems like he mostly just wants the Triforce, and I think he wants to just like have Zelda as like a trophy. You know, I don't know. I don't think it's a romantic love that Ganon has for Zelda.
Yeah, Bowser and Ganon have this like same thing going on.
Yeah,
where they're like, yeah, I don't necessarily want anything romantic. I just need to own a woman.
Oh my god,
it's very weird.
I can't get Jack Black's Peaches song out of my head.
Yeah, we won't derail too long on that. All I know is I watched a YouTube video of it because people are like, "Oh my god, the Peaches song! It's eligible to be nominated for an Oscar." And I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal.
It's a power ballad. It's it's just easy. It's a earworm. It gets stuck in your head. Jack Black, he is a master of performance. Like I big admirer of Jack Black as a performer, and I got to meet Kyle Gass back in like 2006, the other half of Tenacious D. So that I almost met Jack Black, but right. So right, yeah. Ganon wants to make Zelda his queen. Mad Bowser vibes for sure. I assume I haven't even touched the Super Mario Brothers Super Show as we've like gone through this, but seeing how this is a segment of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, it just makes me wonder: is Bowser always trying to kidnap Princess Peach because he's like in love with her? Like I just wonder what his like verbiage is about Peach.
Yeah, I do not recall. Did we mention the castle sinking as soon as they left with the balloon Triforce?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
That seems relatively important.
That's part of Ganon's plan, and use the magnet,
yeah,
so that he can steal the Triforce from the castle. That's why Link and Zelda set off with the Triforce, because they know that Ganon is going to attempt to steal the Triforce. I forgot. Yeah, Sprite is in this episode, so I take that back. Because later we'll see Sprite and the King like hiding like under the bed as Ganon is like tearing a room apart. But that's a little jumping ahead.
Word.
So Zelda and Link, they're trying to gain entry to the Pig Palace, and Link uses a bomb to blow up, an entryway, and he takes a bomb out, and he's like, "This is the right key," and then he like blows up a whole wall.
Very manly stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's the boy stuff. That's how boys act.
solve your problem with explosives. But if you're having any dark thoughts about hurting people, like seek help and tell somebody. It's always best to stop something before you've done it.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, just keep rolling. Ganon is so pissed off as he's tearing apart one of the royal bedrooms, looking for the I assume Zelda's room. This is a line delivery he gives. He says, "I'm very upset." Yeah. Do you ever watch Citizen Kane?
Yes, but not a very, very long time.
Okay. There's just this scene that kind of has been duplicated throughout film history of one of the characters rips a room apart. It's just such a sad, I'll sit in my room sometime and I just wonder, like, what if I just snapped and just like started like breaking all of my furniture and just go on a fucking berserk rage, basically. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
Like, I know
like if you don't have to deal with it later, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
They've got
those damage rooms.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah,
do
they've
that.
commodified rage. It's
smart.
Why can't I
man.
just rage out without having to pay for it?
Well, I mean, you could. It's just called
Being a
committing
billionaire.
Vandalism. we could go to a bank or something and just like smash the windows. And, see what happens. So at this point, actually, Link and Zelda, they are confronted by some moblins and some Stalfos, I believe. Or no, maybe I'm mixing up some memories here. But there's a point actually where it looks like Link slashes two Stalfos.
Yeah.
Which gave me like pause and like made me wonder, is it just like, did I see that right?
That's why the show got canceled.
So Zelda uses the Triforce to make a bridge, so that they can reach the higher place, or like a staircase bridge. And it's like Sheikah Blue. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, okay. Like, we're seeing the Triforce at work. We're seeing what it's actually useful as, not just as a divine relic, but like as like having practical. It's like how the One Ring can make you invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just a symbol of power. It's also like it actually has like a perk when you equip it. So Link fights. I believe this is a Dark Nut, and this is a legit sword fight. This is is this the first time we've seen Link actively engage an enemy with a sword as it was built to? Like, it's interesting. I don't know if they established rules after they made this one, because it's known that these episodes were produced out of order as they were aired. So I just wonder, because there's another episode earlier where Link's zaps were sword shaped, which we don't typically see.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like directly out of the game, which is just fun stuff.
Yeah, and he's done multiple acts of sword violence in this episode. We already talked about slitting Zelda's bondage suit,
That's right.
that fight, and when we cut to the shot you were talking about with the Stalfos, he is like swiping them away.
Yeah.
So you got something there. He finds a power bracelet though.
Yeah.
Don't forget that before we go.
Right.
On.
Yeah. Because like Link, he like trips the Dark Nut and then zaps to defeat him. But yeah, then he gains a magic bracelet. And then this whole time, Ganon, he's been searching for the Triforce while the King and Sprite are hiding. Man, that must be scary. Like, to be like seriously, like to be in a room, like, again,
The King knows how Anne Frank felt.
oh my god.
Now as he's gone through this. Yeah, it's
I read her diary and I just
just a
didn't
fact.
get it until now. Yeah, so Link literally calls out a challenge to Ganon, as Zelda then goes to steal the Triforce of Power. And zaps are exchanged. Link he gets zapped, but instead of like burning a hole in the middle of his chest or like blowing his head off, he just gets like chained up. This is a kinky episode.
yeah, a lot
Very
of lot
a
of.
lot of BDSM in this.
Mhm.
So Ganon uses vacuum magic to try to steal the Triforce.
Does he call it vacuum
No,
magic?
no, I just like I don't know. He wouldn't like. I wish Ganon had like. I wish he had a bit more like zingers, you know. Like, but like I wish Ganon could be like, "This spell's really gonna suck for you."
This like the all this zapping and the laser beams. This just brought to mind the episode of The Simpsons with John Waters.
Oh,
Absolute
yeah,
classic.
Where
Love him so much.
John Waters voices a character named John.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Homer's afraid that he's turning Bart gay, and
Oh, that wouldn't pass today.
there's a part where John Waters is like, I don't know, leaving their house, and he looks at him and he goes, zap. Like that's what I imagine them doing. They're just like zap, zap.
I'm not gonna get the quote totally right, but there's a great John Waters quote where it's like, if you go home with someone and you see on their shelves they don't have any books, don't fuck them.
Yeah, I know that one.
Love that.
It's a good
Not
rule.
to say that I've like followed that rule, but
Good rule.
It spoke to me. So Link, he's tied up now, but he's able to use the magic bracelet, which, according to this, gives him super strength for 1 minute, which is like I read it in the instruction manual for the Legend of Zelda. And yeah, so then he like hulks his way out of the bondage gear, and Ganon throws him at the magnesis. Sorry, I might be getting the wording wrong, but like, what? You're looking at the playback. Give me kind of a rundown of what happens here, because I'm kind of blanking on exactly what
Yeah, so Link breaks out. He swings his chain, grabs Ganon by the wrist with his chain. More kink, action happens. Somehow, from Ganon's wrist, he whips him up into the air, catches him, and throws him at the magnet.
Okay, which I guess turns the button on.
Yeah, that turns it on and starts scooping the castle back up to land.
So then we get to like the ending segment where
Also, I'm sorry.
Link is trying to. Oh, go ahead.
One more thing in this scene, that Link and Zelda basically just fly out.
Oh, right. They balloon their way out with the Triforce.
I don't even think they have. They just fly.
That's maybe they had a paraglider.
This is some Tetsuya Nomura era Final Fantasy physics, which I don't know if I've referenced before watching this show, but I think about it a lot.
I don't understand that reference.
It's fine. That's for like the one guy who does.
Cool. Hey, thanks for listening. So the ending segment, Link is he's like, well, how about that kiss? And then who kisses him? Link gets a smooch. It's not Zelda.
From the king.
Oh.
Oh no, he doesn't want to smooch from the king.
Oh,
And everybody laughs.
yeah. The king is then like, maybe I should have him executed. Dead men tell no tales. And folks, that is episode 6
Lovely.
of the Legend of Zelda animated series. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us talk about it at some points.
Of course.
And that's the episode, folks.
Yes, sir. And I forget if we're going to keep continuing on to the next one.
And that's the episode, folks.
I need to pause here regardless of
Yeah.
how we chain these together.
to write to us, send a message to campvideogames@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram @campvideogames. If you want to become a real happy camper, you can support Camp Video Games on Patreon. For $5 a month, you'll be granted access to even more discussions about movie-based video games, game-based movies, full-length commentaries, playthroughs, and more. Whether you sign up or not, we're glad to have you here at Camp Video Games.